What is going on, traders? If you are watching this video, chances are you want to take your options trading to the next level and explore the exciting world of day trading. You might have even stumbled across day trade options watch lists like the one that we send out, or you might have stumbled across other ones on Twitter and you just don't know where to start. The good news is this video will teach you everything you need to know about how to get started day trading options. First, we'll talk about the tools that you need. Second, I'll tell you how I scan for options. How do I look for options that I want to day trade? Number 3, I'll show you how I find my key levels on a chart. And number 4, I'll teach you how to execute these trades. For your convenience, the video will be chopped up into chapters as you see below. Now, if you have absolutely zero idea what options are, then this video might be a little too advanced for you, right? This assumes that you have a basic understanding that when you buy calls, you want the price to go up, and when you buy puts, you want the price to go down. And before we start, I have to give a cautionary preamble just to soothe my conscience and be responsible and tell you that day trading is the absolute hardest form of trading there is. This is not easy. Don't let anybody tell you it is. It is definitely a skill that you have to hone over time, just like any sport, just like any skill, just like any game, just like any professional endeavor. But also, if you're serious about the grind and you put the hours in, don't let anybody tell you that it is impossible. However, chances are you're not going to watch a video and make money the next day. So please keep in mind, don't let anyone convince you that this is easy. It is hard. You have to respect it, but don't let anyone convince you that it is impossible. Trust me, I know from experience. I've taught thousands of people how to trade options. If you want access to our group full of thousands of traders where we bounce ideas off of each other every single day, you can ask questions in real time, interact with traders of all experience levels. Sign up, link is in the description below, and let's get right into it. All right, section number 1, let's start off with the tools that you will actually need. You're obviously going to need a trading platform. Now, for me personally, I would recommend something that has not only a paper trading interface, so something like ThinkOrSwim, Fidelity has this, Charles Schwab has this, even Interactive Brokers, if you're not located in the US and are looking for a good platform. A lot of traders in our group that are not based in the US trade on Interactive Brokers because they do have a paper trading platform, and they also have some of these advanced tools. Now, you can try to do this on Robinhood or Webull. However, we'll get into later on why that might be challenging. Not impossible, but challenging. Now, number 2, you need something that is going to help you scan for options volume and options flow. This is vital because with options, they are much more thinly traded than stocks. They don't do as much volume as stocks. And when you have low volume options, the spread between the bid and the ask price, what the market wants to buy it for and what the market wants to sell it for, is very wide, which is disadvantageous when you're trying to day trade. It could actually kill your trades. So when you look at a very thinly traded option, let's just take this stock, for instance, called Purple. You could see that the difference between the bid and the ask for the 17.5 call is 10 cents for the bid and the ask is 20 cents. There's a 10-cent difference here. Double the ask is double the amount of the bid. This means that if you bought it right away at the ask price of 20 and you sold it right away for the bid price of 10, you would lose 10 cents or 50% of your trade right off the bat. If you contrast this with an option that has high volume, let's just take the 1100 call for Tesla, for instance, you can see 50,000 of these were traded the last time the market was open. That bid price is $20.15. and the ask price is $20.30. Only a $15 difference in an option that costs thousands of dollars. So it is vital that you have something that allows you to scan for options volume. Now, you could do this in ThinkOrSwim. You really don't need any more paid tools. However, nowadays, they are super advanced tools. And lately, I've discovered what I think is the perfect options flow tool so far from a visual standpoint, as well as the information it provides and the speed at which it provides it. And this tool is called Cheddar Flow. This is a paid tool. However, if you're going to take options trading to the next level, you want to be serious about it, I would highly suggest subscribing to a platform like this, as it not only shows you the volume in real time and tells you exactly which option is doing what volume, but it also tries to identify what type of order it is, whether it's a sweep, meaning most likely a large institutional order that is being inconspicuously divvied up into smaller orders to try to avoid detection. This also helps in identifying dark pool orders, orders that are transacted outside of the exchange. And you could see here on Tesla, for instance, we saw a $213 million order go in just the last day that the market was open. This is also especially useful if you're trading on something like Robinhood and you don't have real-time access to options flow. In Robinhood, if you click on each individual option, it will tell you the volume and open interest, but there's no scanning mechanism that lays it out for you like this in real time. If you're interested in signing up for it, you'll get 25% off if you use the link in the description. Anyway, all right, so you need a trading platform and you need something that allows you to scan for options. Third on the list, but equally just as vital, is a charting platform. Now, luckily, something like ThinkOrSwim, or if you're using Fidelity or Charles Schwab's advanced platforms, you will have the ability to scan for options, chart them, and trade them all on one platform, right? So I use ThinkOrSwim for charting when I'm day trading. However, if you are unlucky enough to be using something like Robinhood or Webull, if you're in the US, I really encourage you to upgrade to a more advanced platform. However, in the meantime, you can use something like TradingView. You will need the paid version of TradingView to have real-time alerts as opposed to delayed alerts. Now, the reason that you will need a charting platform will make a lot more sense as we get into how to find the key levels, but without a chart, you cannot find the key levels. How do I know when to buy a call or when to buy a put? All right, so those are the tools that you need. And again, you will find links to all of the stuff that I use in the description below. So step 2, how do you scan for options? How do I know what options to trade? How do I create my watch list and send them every day in the private trading group? Well, I'm scanning for volume. I'm looking to see what are the most actively traded options for that week. And the way that I do that is a couple of ways, using Cheddar Flow, which I'll show you in a second, but also a quick scan in ThinkOrSwim will also suffice. So I set up a scanner in ThinkOrSwim. I'm basically looking for options that have 1,000 might be a little, 2,000 might be a little stringent, but that have 1,000 contracts traded minimum. And I'll leave the max open because I don't care about what the max is. The more, the merrier. And in terms of the days to expiration, it really depends on when I'm scanning, but I'm looking for things that expire within that same week because we are day trading options and we are picking options usually that expire at the end of the week because they are the cheapest and the ones that are most sensitive to price movements. So if this was a Monday, I would set the days to expiration at 1 and the max at 5, and I would go ahead and hit scan and see what comes up. And here you will see the highest volume or the most, the tickers that have the most volume in terms of options. And you'll see here there's the SQQs, which is the bearish inverse ETF of the NASDAQ, Apple, Nikola, funny enough, SPY, Ford, AMD, AT&T, and you get it. Now, the cool thing about something like Cheddar Flow is as the options are coming in, this is being updated in real time. You will see as there's a heavy volume on a certain ticker, you'll see this updated in real time. So all day this is going and it's giving you alerts that, hey, a large order has been placed here, a large order has been placed here. And you can even filter this by your watch list. So I have a predetermined watch list already set up on Cheddar Flow, and I just filter this by what's in my watch list. You can see what's in my watch list here. It's all, a lot of the names that you would think: PayPal, Nvidia, Neo, Netflix, Micron, Microsoft, JP Morgan, Google, Facebook, Disney, etc. So it filters, it will only show me alerts for what's in my watch list. Obviously, you can remove this if you don't care and you just want to trade any option that has a high volume. All right, so we identified the tools that we needed to get started and how to scan for options using either your native platform like ThinkOrSwim or a third-party application like Cheddar Flow or Unusual Whales or whatever. So now comes, in my view, the hardest part of this whole operation is how to identify key levels. And the reason this is hard, especially for some of you newbies, is because you will have to know how to read a chart in the first place. I did a whole video how to do technical analysis for beginners. You might want to check that out here because it goes over how to draw support and resistance if you are a beginner. There are a few ways that we can do it. Now, when I'm day trading, I'll be honest, I'm not really looking at many indicators besides support and resistance. And if you're going to be day trading options, it's vital that you are looking at pre-market as well. You're looking at pre-market. Obviously, options don't trade pre-market, but the stock itself trades at pre-market. So right now we're looking at the SPY, which is the most liquid index option there is available and one of the most liquid options all across the board in general. So The gray here on ThinkOrSwim represents after hours or pre-market. Now, you could do the same thing in TradingView. You will have to have a paid account again to get the real-time alerts. But in TradingView, what you would do is what I do in order to mimic something like you just saw in ThinkOrSwim is you want a 2-chart layout at least, because I look at the 1 minute and the 5 minute. So I take the stacked view here. So in this case, you click the top one, click 1 minute, click the bottom one, and click the 5 minute interval. So now you have the 1 minute at the top and the 5 minute at the bottom. However, we don't have a view of pre-market or after hours trading. So what we do is you go into the settings here, and here where it says session, instead of regular trading, change it to extended trading hours. Apply to all and hit OK. And now you will see that here you have the after hours, and I color coded it according to the colors that I like. In after hours, you have the yellow, and pre-market you have the white. And this shows you a similar layout to what we saw in ThinkOrSwim, but in ThinkOrSwim it's all gray, and then it's divided by this dotted line here where you see the after hours and the pre-market. Now again, I encourage you to get an advanced platform like ThinkOrSwim if it's available in your area, or something like Interactive Brokers, because it's going to be very hard for you to look at this chart here and then go to something like Robinhood and try to click around and make your purchases. It's just not fast enough in my view. It is doable, but it's going to be very frustrating for you, and you'll find that you will want an integrated platform where everything exists. The best thing you could do if you're trying to do TradingView plus your trading platform is have it separated on one screen. So I have my TradingView on the left and Robinhood on the right. But again, not my ideal setup. Do what's good for you though. So I usually wake up before the market opens, obviously, but you don't have to be up for the whole pre-market. I just need to be up half an hour just to look at my trades, look at the tickers, scan for the stocks that I want to trade, for the stocks whose options I want to trade. So in this case, I might take Apple, SPY, obviously, which I always trade the indexes almost every day, again, because they are the most liquid and they have a lot of movement, a lot of predictable movement. You can't possibly take all the tickers. Like, you will need to have just a list of 2 to 5 at max. There's no way that you can just be day trading 15 tickers all day. So let's take the SPY for instance. The reason that you want to look at pre-market and after hours is because you could see where the levels are consolidating, right? A lot of algorithms and professional traders are using the same levels. So yes, there is sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy there, but it is to your advantage that if everyone's using the same levels, then the movements are pretty predictable. So I will draw a resistance line here, as you could see on the 5-minute chart down below. I'm drawing a resistance line during this after hours and pre-market session where I see that there is resistance, and I'll draw a support line where I see there is support, right? And I wait for the market to open, and I quickly see if we can get a bump above support. This is called breakout trading, by the way. So you're waiting for the breakout, and then you're buying a bullish sentiment on the breakout. And by the way, in ThinkOrSwim, the tool that I'm using here to draw this is called the price level tool. If you go to your tools, it's the one that has the $ and the line below it. And so I quickly draw the support and resistance levels, right? Basically the channel that the stock is trading in. Now, you're not always going to have an identifiable channel. So even if there is a liquid option, even if it's a stock that you want to trade for that day, sometimes, some days it's not tradable and you cannot force it. You just have to accept that, hey, I cannot read the stock right now, so this is now off the watch list. I do this every single day. There's no shame in it. So don't worry about that, okay? So you can see here that my resistance level is around $463.75. So I'll go into the SPY option that expires for the end of this week, because remember, those are the cheapest ones and the ones that react the most heavily to price movements. Also, I'm not worried about time decay because I'm not looking to hold these over a number of days. Now, with something like the SPY, you don't really have to worry about liquidity because, like I said, the SPY is one of the most heavily traded options on the market on a daily basis. So I don't really have to monitor and look at, exactly which call am I going to buy if I'm bullish on the SPY, because as you can see, they all have healthy volume and the bid ask is pretty narrow between every single option. So what I do is I usually buy the one that is just out of the money, because the minute that option becomes in the money, you're going to see an accelerated effect in terms of the increase in its value, because it was out of the money. Now it's in the money, so it automatically gains intrinsic value. So in this case, my level on the SPY is 463.74. So I'll go in here and I'll buy the one right above, which is the 464 call. Now, because I'm looking at a chart that is a few days old, this now is in the money, but at the time it was out of the money. It was the one that was just out of the money, like you see here, shaded in black as opposed to shaded in purple. Now, the cool thing about ThinkOrSwim is you can actually right click on this, copy it, go to your tab. And by the way, if you want this template, if you're using ThinkOrSwim and you want this template, email me. I'll leave an email form below, right? Put your email in, email me, just tell me that you want the ThinkOrSwim template and I'll send it to you. But I have Active Trader here on the right and I can paste what I just copied and hit enter. And now I have the option charted. This is the actual chart of the option, not the SPY itself. And this is Active Trader. So in here, I can actually instantly buy or sell options at the limit price that I want. And you can even change the quantity. You can change it to 10 contracts or 1 contract or 100 contracts. And the minute that you click this, it will instantly fill if the limit price is met. So that is a lot quicker than going in here, going to the option, clicking on it, saying, yeah, I want to buy this option. Okay, let me change the quantity now. Let me change it to 100 and see if I can get a fill. And then come in here and hit confirm and send. When you're doing it from Active Trader, part of the feature of this tool here is that it will fill instantly the minute you click on it if the limit price is met. You can even do a market order, by the way. And sometimes I do that if the bid and ask is very narrow, like on the SPY. And that way, like, I don't care about the penny or two that's off between the bid and the ask, because I want to get my order filled quickly. However, on something that has a wider bid-ask spread, you definitely don't want to do market orders. Now, this will be significantly harder to do when you're trading on something like Robinhood. So here's Tesla as an example. Here's the after hours for Tesla. Obviously, we don't have the pre-market yet because I'm recording this on a Sunday. So Monday pre-market hasn't happened. But let's just say that this includes all of the pre-market and after hours, right? Let's just say that this yellow box here is all encompassing of pre-market and after hours, and I'm using this to draw my levels. Well, in this case, I would come here, pick a trend line, and you could see that there's clear resistance here for Tesla, right? It's trading in a clear channel, and clear support here for Tesla, right? So this would be these would be my levels, right? So about 1,065.50 on the resistance side, about 1,063.40 on the support side. So I would come in here, and if the market opens and Tesla starts breaching this, so Tesla starts crossing my level, the minute that it breaks out on the 1 minute chart, then I would go in and I would buy the option that is just out of the money. So in this case would probably be the 1,060. What's above 1,065 on Tesla's option chain? It would probably be the 1,070. Yeah, that's the next one that's out of the money. You could see here in Robinhood that it draws a green line. But I would have to come in here, click on buy, make sure that the limit price is not going to shaft me, hit continue, go through this whole thing where, as in with ThinkOrSwim, you have Active Trader. It's just a one-click thing. Now, in terms of where to take profits, this is going to be, I think, one of the biggest adjustments, especially for newbies, because they're always so scared of taking profits too early. Here's something that I'm going to tell you right now. You will never buy the absolute bottom, and you will never sell the absolute top. So remove that from your mind. Set your expectations properly. When you're day trading, you are looking to generate profits. That's it. It does not matter if the stock ran up a little bit without you. That is much better than holding, seeing the stock drop and you losing all your profits. You want to exit the day with a profit. So the way that I do it is, again, the better that you get with technical analysis, the more that this will make sense to you. But if you look at Tesla here, you could see that there was resistance before the after hours trading. There was somewhat of a resistance at around, 1,070, somewhere around there, somewhere around here. So I might look to that to be my first level for profit taking. Now, once a stock runs up, you'll see that this option will gain in value. So it is time to start thinking about taking profits. Actually, no, fuck that. It's time to actually take profits. Now, you can either exit your entire position. What I do in order to avoid, here's a pro tip, here's a trick, okay? In order to avoid that psychological annoyance of selling too early and seeing the thing run, what I do is I take profits on most of my position. So either 60 to 75% of my position, and I'll leave a small amount open, because if you closed out for profits and the stock continued to run, say it was a really bullish day and the stock continued to run, then you could still see your position gain in value. You'll still see your small position say, oh my God, it's up 100%. And you're still somewhat in it. You're not in it for your entire position, but you still have a stake in there. And that psychologically can boost your morale like no tomorrow. Again, I have no problem with someone taking profits completely, right? A lot of times I'll do that, especially if it's a very choppy day. But if it's a day where there's a lot of bullish momentum and I still want to feel like I'm participating, I'll take most of my profits at a key level that I identify, but I'll still leave my position open for a smaller amount so I don't feel like I've missed out completely. Now, if the trade goes against me, I have a hard 10 to 15% stop limit rule. So if I have a position open in ThinkOrSwim, I'll come in here and I'll you can even set a trail stop. And the cool thing about trail stop is you could set it by percentage, and you could say minus 15%. If at any point this drops minus 15% from the next mark price, then exit my position, and you would just hit confirm and send. You can also set just a regular stop limit, put the stop price as the trigger. So in this case, let's just say this is I would calculate what is 15% of 340, which is about 50 cents. So in this case, I could put the stop price at 3 and I could put the limit price at 295. So I would exit in the case that this option drops by 15%. Now, the same thing works for the put side. On this day, Peloton was seeing actually a lot of volume because of the stay-at-home Omicron story versus the reopening story, right? There's a battle between bulls and bears there. So in this case, Omicron, in this case, Peloton established in pre-market and after hours. You could see here, if you are adept at reading a chart, at least at a basic level, you could see here that there are clear levels that we would have identified in pre-market and after hours, right? And if Peloton crossed above this when the market opened, then we would have bought calls. And if the market crosses below this, which is the support level, then that's when you buy puts. And again, you would check the order flow on Peloton to see which is the next put that has the highest volume and the most narrow bid-ask spread. If we were trading it on this day, you can look at the 38 put here. You can see that the 38 put has an open interest of 1,300 contracts, which is respectable. And the difference between the bid and the ask is not so bad, $1.15 to $1.23. Or you can go down to like the 35 put. You could see here has the most volume and the most open interest, at least out of the put side, where the bid and the ask is just a penny different. However, keep in mind that this is one thing that I also have to talk about is delta. So delta basically means that for every dollar that the option moves up, then the stock moves up, then the option will move up by that amount. So a delta of 0.4 means that for every dollar that the stock moves up, that option will move up by 40 cents. A delta of minus 0.4 on the put side, because puts have a minus delta, it's the same thing. That means that for every dollar that the stock moves up, the option loses 40 cents. But it also means that every dollar that the stock moves down, the option gains 40 cents. So I tend not to go so far down in delta if I'm day trading, because the stock will need to make a major move for you to make money. So it's a trade-off between finding an option that is liquid enough, but also has a high delta. I tend to stick with 0.4, somewhere around 0.4. I don't really deviate from that. If it's 0.37, 0.38 or something, fine. But I don't really go into the teens on delta. So in this case, me personally, I would not trade that 35 put again unless I expected a huge down move for Peloton backed by some sort of thesis for that day. This tends to work better on like biopharmaceutical stocks that might have an FDA approval coming up that day where you expect a major move up or down, fine. But on typical days, you don't want to go with a really low delta. Again, I tend to stick around the 0.4 range. So for every stock in the watch list, I'll do this on a day. And again, I don't really trade more than 2 to 5 a day. So, let's just say that Peloton was one of them, SPY was another, Apple was another. I'll go in here and I'll draw my support and resistance lines for after hours and pre-market. And then, when I'm shuffling through them, you will already have your pre-drawn line. So I can go to Peloton and be like, oh, boom, there's support and resistance. I can go to the SPY and say the same thing. Boom, there's support and resistance. So you want to have these already pre-drawn, which is why I think you should get up half an hour at least before market open in order to draw these lines. And then the next time that you encounter a watch list like this, either from me or somebody else, you'll know how to trade it. In this case, this says NVIDIA. I'm buying the 300 call if NVIDIA crosses the 298.20. This level was determined in the way that I showed you before. Or buying the 295 put if NVIDIA crosses below 295.65. And the more adept you get at this, you'll be able to find confluence between the support and resistance levels and other indicators, whether you're using the price oscillator, the RSI, VWAP, the moving averages, the Fibonacci levels. That's just, you can make a dedicated video for each one of those things. So if you want access to my watch list, my trade ideas, my portfolio, long-term holds, you want access to a private trading group with thousands of traders where you can bounce ideas and questions off of on a daily basis in real time, sign up. Link is in the description. Would love to have you. A link to all of the tools that I use and some fat discounts also in the description. If you want my ThinkOrSwim day trade template, hit that email form in the description and say that you want the day trade template. I'll send it to you happily. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think of this. Hit that thumbs up. Let me know that you like this so I can continue to make more videos like this for you. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Stay safe out there, traders. Peace.